It was waiting
Right.
for Zoom. Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. I am Isabelle, your host, and I have your friends here. Max and Nikki and Kimberly is soon to join us. I am so happy you are here. This Ascension Roundtable is what the heck? I wanted to have it fun and playful, and I created a game. So I will be sharing my screen, and hopefully it will go well. And if not, it's funny anyways. Either way. So Max, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, hi. Yes. Welcome, everyone. Very happy to be to have you with us. So I'm Max, and there I am. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here, and let's leave it there. I think that the rest will take care of itself, as always.
Great. Thank you so much, Max. Nikki, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm really happy to be here too. I'm in France. My name's Nikki. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that too. Really happy to be here and looking forward to finding out what the heck this is all about.
I love it. Kimberly, hello, my love.
Hello, everybody. Well, hello. So my name's Kimberley, and yeah, happy to be here as well. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I am a counselor, channel, a light language alchemist, among other things. So yeah, looking forward to our discussion today.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and I think you guys will be small on camera, but I don't, you're going to have to see, it's multiple choice. So you're going to have to see my screen.
Can you change the configuration so that we can see only your screen, maybe?
So right now I'm on speaker. What do you want? Immersive?
Oh, no, it's fine. I see that it worked.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Go on.
All right.
But maybe just, can you go a little bit back? You are too close to the camera.
There we go. Sorry. How's that? Can you guys still hear me?
We can still hear you.
Yeah.
And we can, yeah, that's better.
There we go. I'll adjust the lens. All right, everyone. Let me share my screen. Let me get my Google form document up. That's what I did it in case you guys wanted to know. Inquiring minds. Here we go. Share screen. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Ascension Roundtable. It's what the heck. Okay. What is not a common sign spirit sends? Not repeating numbers, songs, feathers, butterflies, or the winning lottery ticket. What is not a sign that spirit sends? Go ahead, Max. You're on mute.
Oh, for me, it's the winning lottery ticket. I don't think that is a sign. I was thinking about this yesterday. The other day, they had here, the lottery was $140 million. And I was thinking, will I build still, if I win this, will I still keep this path, spiritual path? And I say, yeah, so I don't need to win it actually.
So, it's so funny when become a psychic or a channeler, or you connect to spirit, you know, a lot of people think that you can pick the winning lottery numbers. And
We are all millionaires.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe that's possible if that's your path from your inner being, you know, maybe it's possible. I don't know.
Rain Man can do it.
Yeah.
It was in Rain Man's vibration. That's why Rain Man could do it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But the typical signs are repeating numbers, 111, 333, 444, songs. Does anyone see feathers? I get a lot of feathers. You, Nikki? You too, Max?
Yes.
What about butterflies? Do you guys get a lot of butterflies?
Oh yeah, yes, a lot. Even in seasons when they shouldn't be there, and even in places where there shouldn't be, and in quantities that are just astronomical. And you say, well, they're supposed to disappear.
Yeah. I saw a butterfly in the dead of winter. There was snow all around, and I was driving and I saw a butterfly. And I was like so stunned and shocked. The other one for me, I get owls, and owls are typically not around during the day. So for me to see an owl during the day is like, oh, they love me. What about you, Kimberly?
We don't really get owls here, but I have, you know, we have them in Australia. It's just in our part of Sydney where I live. It's not really here, but just reminds me, just over the weekend, I don't know, you guys are familiar with this bird. Maybe you are. It's a kookaburra. Do you guys know of a kookaburra?
I think only because of you, Kimberly. I know about this bird.
Okay, it's a type of kingfisher bird. Anyway, it has this laugh like goes like, you know, as a little example of you. But anyway, but it's
impressive.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's one of
it's called Down Under,
I'm a
isn't
bird
it?
impersonator. Didn't you know that? That's one of my talents. Yes, no, not really. So these kookaburra, they're beautiful, beautiful birds, and it was just sitting cheerfully in the end of my balcony. It wasn't making the call. They don't do the call all the time, but we have this beautiful elm tree next door, and it felt like it was so peaceful, just in meditating. It was just like chilling out, just, you know, and I was getting really close to it, and it was just like, I don't know, it was just, I got a lot of peace from seeing it. Anyway, that's my little story. Now you know about the kookaburra.
I get a lot of birds, but remember what, Kimberly, I think it was last year, and you were taking a video and you were showing me, but like the bird was like practically in your house. Like
Yeah.
You attract a lot of birds.
Yeah, we have a lot of beautiful birds here. Just even outside my window, I get rainbow lorikeet. So that's another bird you may not know about, but they're basically all colored in different colors of like green, red, and blue. I think it is green, red, and blue colors.
Wow.
Really beautiful birds. And yeah, we have a lot of birds around here. So lots of nature.
Wow. All right. We're going to go on to.
Hang on. So
What?
before we stop that, a lot of people always, I get people who ask, because I'll say, oh, look, 2222. People say, what does that mean? So I'd like to know for each of you, what does it mean when you see those numbers or you see a feather? And does it come at a particular time? What is it for you?
Good interviewer, Nikki.
You are. For me, I would say, like, there are people obviously that delve into like angel numbers and things like that. And for me, basically, I just interpret it as a sign that I'm in alignment. And it's a reminder that, you know, especially if you're going through like maybe even challenging times, it's just like a little message to say, we're here, you're on the right path, hang in there. That's how I interpret it. I mean, there are, you know, specific repeating numbers that do mean different things. It depends on your belief systems, right? So if your belief systems are very much, okay, I can only get messages in this way, and these repeating numbers like 111 means this, 444 means this, means this. If that's your belief systems, then you will probably see more of them. So with me, I'm a bit more loosey-goosey with it. It's just more general thing for me when I see them. But there was one particular day, talking of numbers, I actually wrote it down in my notes because I was like, oh, that's very interesting because, you know, recently I have been seeing a lot of like 111 repeating numbers, but there was one particular day, it was on the 26th of last month. And I actually just wrote it here in my notes because it was so like, there were so many. So in the one day, I glanced either on my phone or my computer, I saw like 1:11 p.m., 3:33, 4:44, 11:11 p.m. and 1:11 a.m. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I saw 5 repeating numbers in the same day. And I'm like, that's a lot. So I had to write that down. I also saw it on the second, there was 3 repeating numbers. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's a bit unusual. And I think that day, yeah, I think it was just a little reminder because I was going through something and it was just like, we're with you, we're with you. It's okay. So it's so yeah, it's up to you. It's really your belief systems, yeah, how you see, like so for feathers, for instance, for songs, for feathers, butterflies. If your belief systems are more geared to one particular sign, that's when you usually will see them because the spirits, they come through in ways that matches your belief systems with their messages.
Exactly. For me, it's when you see a repeating number, stop what you are thinking, doing, just get that, right? It's the moment that tells you what that is. It's your thought, what you are doing. It's to get your attention to that moment, to your thought, to it's probably it's relevant what you're doing in that moment. More than the signification exactly of the number, but as Kimberley is saying, if you give if you have a belief system, if you give a meaning to it, well, that's what you get, right? Because obviously the messages that you receive them in a way that you can understand. And if you have a belief system, for instance, 13 for me, it's change. It's in the tarot. The 13 is death, but death in the meaning of changing. So when I have the number 13 appearing repeatedly, many times, I'm telling myself, change is here. You're changing. Or 17 is the destruction and the rebuilding. So it's that big change. It's something new, right? And then you can have repeating numbers, but the sign or whatever it is always matching your belief system, as Kimberley said.
You know, I agree completely. My beliefs are close to Kimberly's around all of these things. But what I find fascinating is, for example, Isabelle. Isabelle gets cars and trucks go by in colors. Can you tell us about your color? What is your color belief system with vehicles?
So yellow Jeeps, I know, are from Isis. Yellow trucks are from Herculitis. Bright green, funky cars are from Ashlam. And red cars, and yes, and when I see yellow, like a yellow bug or a yellow Volkswagen or whatever, and not a Jeep, I know it's just my team, a general team saying, hey. And numbers for me are very specific. Like 369 is the invisible numbers. It's the unseen. And so when I get a 369, I'm like, yeah. I get a lot of 4/4s from my angelic team, 444. 333 is Ascendant Master for me. But it's true. It's really because they can read me through my frequency and vibration and see all my beliefs, they know how to communicate with me. So the message is, once we establish a form of communication, like if I said, you know, purple cup, and we all agreed that this color is a purple cup, and I say clear glass, and this is clear glass, and I say clear glass means clarity, and purple cup means psychic ability. Well, then when I see a purple cup, they'll be saying, we acknowledge your psychic ability. And if I see a clear glass, they'll say, we acknowledge your clarity. So you can really play and develop a language with your non-physical team, because they love to talk.
Well, I have a question, but I know you're hosting this, but this just not triggered it, it inspired something in me. Okay, so I've seen it in the spiritual community. Certain people, a mutual friend of ours, Isabelle, has this one particular number. It's like a 6-digit number that she gets a lot. And my son, who is somewhat awakened, he gets the same numbers as well. Like it'll be like the number of miles on kilometers on his car, or he'll say, Mom, look at how much whatever, and he shows me the same numbers. So what is that when people get things like that, especially people who aren't quite awake, what do you think that is about?
So that's one of the, I actually channeled around this, Nikki, that I want to put in a book to tell you that. So, Nikki, I'm excited about the phases and stages of awakening. I like to see patterns, right? And a very common pattern is communication with numbers, because we're open to it. We have numbers all around, like you said, the receipts, your phone. Yeah. You're by your computer, you're at the gas pump, everything is digital numbers. Yeah. And so when you see a repeating pattern, like I remember reading the book 20 years ago called The Time Prompt Phenomenon 1111. And that's when I wasn't like fully aware, but I knew something was going on. Like I didn't like connect all the pieces yet, but I knew something was going on. So your son, Benjamin, is getting these numbers to tap him on the shoulder, to get him curious, to maybe look it up, to maybe go within, it's part of his awakening process that they're just like, hi, because mathematically, if you had all those repeating numbers and you did the math, you would find out that it's a very low probability. And if it's a low probability for all these repeating numbers, then you might jump to the understanding, something more is going on than just a coincidence. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so repeating numbers tend to be a very common way to the beginning of someone's awakening. So that's a very good sign that he's seeing those numbers. Okay, are we ready for the next? Dun, 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 dun. We are still in the category of what the heck? What is the reason behind vivid dreams? Is it spirit has taken over my dreams? Is it you are sick in the head? Or is it a form of communication to bring awareness? What is it, team? All right, Kimberly. You liked, so they didn't hear you, but when I said spirit has taken over my dreams, Kimberly started like cracking up.
No, and you were sick in the head.
And you're sick in the head with these vivid dreams.
Yeah, okay, so vivid dreams. Well, when we sleep, right, we actually travel the astral realms. So, yeah, we actually travel our multidimensional lives when we sleep. So this is why sometimes you see like parallel realities, or what we call as past lives. But also at the same time, we do have some processing in our subconscious trying to make sense, like spirit is trying to make sense of our existence in the physical world and our physical day. So there's a bit of both. There's a processing of that, which is quite abstract. The abstract, sometimes we don't quite can picture, but it's just really abstract feelings or images or words. This is usually the process of the subconscious. But then when you remember, because we don't always remember our dreams, but you can actually enhance that by keeping a dream journal, tap into that. But yeah, usually if you see like other realities, that's not make believe. That's just not a dream. You are actually seeing another dimensional reality, another parallel reality. So it's pretty cool. Some of them can be quite weird. But yeah, but you can make your intention before you sleep to remember your dreams, to remember your astral travels. And if you make that declaration, make your intention, keep a diary next to you. And as soon as you wake up, write down any feelings, anything that comes up to you, then you can actually enhance that ability for you. But yeah, that's what we do. We're just exploring the multiverse.
Nice. I know,
Hey,
Nikki.
Isabelle, are you talking about lucid dreaming when you say vivid dreams?
Not necessarily, but let's talk about lucid dreamings. Nikki,
Well, how do you define what's the difference for vivid? Is vivid when you remember it?
Yeah, vivid is when you remember it. Like, you know, when Nikki has a lot of dreams and processes.
I think we all do, but I remember a lot of them.
Yeah, Kimberley does too. Max, do you remember a lot of your dreams? I don't know if we talked about dreams. Oh,
yes,
you do?
I do. And I remember dreams that I've done 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, it's a form of communication. For me, it's a form of communication. It's also a form of discovery myself in other awarenesses, forms, and then and then there's the interpretation. I will interpret it and put something on it that I can understand. So and sometimes, yeah, I have dreams that stick with me and for a very long time, and I used even to repeat some dreams. And other dreams, I used to have dreams where someone was entering my apartment, my home, and I was scared until I listened to a program where someone was talking, saying that they used to have something similar, but they actually realized that it was their hybrid children trying to visit. And when I realized that, my dream changed. So I realized that, in fact, I was scared because I didn't know what was coming. But the moment I realized what that was, then the dream changed. So
Nice.
so you see, you can change the interpretation of the dream. So that I realized, right, when you have vivid dream like nightmares, they are the nightmare is the interpretation of the dream. Nothing bad is happening except that you are interpreting that way. So there is something that make the dream become a nightmare. So when you know what is that makes it scary, well, then when you dream the same thing, the next time it will not be a nightmare anymore.
Yeah,
Because you're not interpreting it that way anymore.
yeah, and I think Nikki and I talk a lot about our dreams. And same with Kimberly. What's weird to me now is sometimes we process limiting beliefs within the dreams.
Yes.
Like sometimes I'm in the dream and I'm like, wait, this is not me. And I literally change the dream and I process it. And other times I'll have a vivid dream and it might look like a nightmare or feel like a nightmare. And then I'm like, no. Let's look at this symbolically. It's just your ego mind trying to understand what's going on that other side. It's not logical. So let's look at it. Okay, so there were spiders in the dream. Okay, spiders is webs is connectivity, creativity. And that's how I work through my dreams. I try to be a really good Scooby-Doo detective. and I try to look at it from a very high level, symbolic level, go into my feelings. Gosh, Kimberley goes into so many parallel universes. Nikki processes intense emotions in her dreams. I'm like, holy shit. So that's cool that you do the same too, Max. I wonder if everyone, guys, if anyone's watching, let us know what you guys are doing in your dreams. I'm so curious.
So you know what, the meaning I give to my dreams has transformed over through my awakening. And I used to think when I would have dreams where I was in some sort of distress or having some sort of unwanted emotion, I would wake up and I would judge it, and I would have resistance to what I dreamed. And then one day I also gave it a meaning, and the meaning was, wow, I have so much stuff to process. This is, this is crappy that even when I go to sleep, I don't get a break, right? And recently, I would say within the last 6 months, I started paying more attention. I even started a dream journal, and I started setting intentions to remember my dreams, and also talking to my guides and saying, wherever I'm going, I'm totally in agreement, and, just let's go, So there was an opening. And it's really interesting because when I would wake up, and I think maybe I channeled something around the dreams. I asked a question about the dreams, and my guide said, notice the feelings. And and I started noticing the feelings, and the more I accepted whatever I dreamed, I noticed there was some sort of transformation occurring. And maybe that is that I do believe that, it's a time, it can be I've heard many different things. So sometimes it can be just processing, some things that aren't quite in the conscious domain, not processed, right? So we sort of maybe work through it in our dreams when all our resistance is down. We talked about lucid dreaming. So what is lucid dreaming? Well, it's when the dreamer in the dream realizes they're dreaming. That's what lucid dreaming is. And I've actually had that experience, I think only once in the past few months, where I knew I was dreaming. I knew that was a dream. But allowing myself to have whatever experience I'm having without judgment, but just that sense of curiosity. I mean, that is a state of grace when you can get there, because everything changes. It's always about, you're looking at the clear glass and looking at the purple glass, and you have these definitions. Well, then I guess if you have a foggy glass, you don't have clarity, right? So it really is about how you perceive things. And of course, our perceptions, for me in any case, are influenced by my vibration and where I'm at in my processing. But another thing is what I have heard, and I don't know who said it, but I have heard that sometimes, when we're off in the astral realms while we're sleeping, doing light worker work and things like that, maybe going to other planets or meeting with other races and that sort of thing, sometimes to have an understanding or to make sense, the dream sort of is people we know, but actually we're having all these other interactions with different, aliens and different, celestial beings or whatever. So, I don't have a one answer, but staying in a state of curiosity about your dreams will allow you to dig deeper into your own self-discovery. And it's another avenue, especially for people who are really anchored in the world, the physical world. I think the dreams probably speak to them in a way because their resistance is down when they're sleeping. So all the more reason for people who remember their dreams to maybe keep a dream journal and start looking at the feelings around the dreams and things like that.
I agree. And I think also another phase and stage, so you get repeating numbers and then you'll get dreams. And, listen, guys, I haven't taken a formal survey of 1,000 people, but one of the things that has come up, talking to other people in their beginning awakening stages, they said right before they would go to sleep, they would see all these spaces pop in. And a couple of people have talked to me about it. And I said, oh my God, that happened to me. So I think there are phases and stages of communication right before you sleep, while you're sleeping, like pay attention to what's happening, because I know if you're just beginning to awaken, you're going to discount it. You're going to say, well, that was crazy. I don't know if I really saw that, or I don't know if I really dreamt that. So yeah. Okay. We're going to go on to the next one. What the heck? What is not a spiritual truth? Not. There is wrong in the universe. The ego has all the answers. It is best to control everything, or all of the above.
Well, you put the all of the above suddenly, so
Yes, all of the above. So those are not spiritual truths, guys. There is no wrong in the universe. Instead of there is wrong in the universe. The ego has the answers. The ego never has the answers, just in case you guys are wondering. And it is best to control everything. Well, you really have no control. But if you think you have control, good for you, because that's resistance and causes a lot of stress.
But I would also add that the ego is our friend, not our enemy, because the ego alerts us to our limiting beliefs. So the ego in a way does have the answers, but it doesn't, it's just distorted. So it's not the truth. It doesn't hold the truth as in plain sight. It just holds messages about our limiting beliefs and perceptions of us. So it's a learning tool. So if you can see the ego as not something to repress, but the states of ego, it helps to illuminate our subconscious, and it leads the pathway to discovering more about who we are. And so it's a tool for us. So it's about getting acquainted with your ego and just seeing your ego in a different way.
I agree with you. Kimberly, I am spot on with that, especially in the spiritual community. I think we tend to want to diminish our ego. But I'm personally friends with my ego. And of course, I assigned my ego a name so I can communicate better with my ego. That's just my process. I'm not saying you have to give your ego a name, but it really helped me. My ego's name is Chris, and I love him.
Hi, Chris.
Chris. But really getting to know your ego and becoming friends with your ego. But really your heart centered, your inner being is the one who has the answers for you. So that's it. Okay. Do we need to talk about anything around this or go to the next? All right. Here it is. Kimberly did not hear of this expression. This is totally American. What the 𝐻𝐸𝐿 hockey stick?
I've never heard that either, and I am American.
Okay, so when I was a little girl, hell was a swear word. So in order not to say hell, you would say 𝐻𝐸𝐿 hockey stick. Because the hockey sticks look like an L. Okay. Why would spirit encourage you to journal? Is it to help you process your emotions? Is it to help you connect to your inner wisdom? Is it to help you channel? Is it to help you gain insight, or all of the above?
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding,
All
ding,
of the
ding.
above.
Kimberly.
All of the above. And
Yay!
actually,
I know these are too easy for you guys.
but I just want to share my experiences. That's how I developed my channeling abilities, actually, is journaling. I was actually a friend of mine. She's a medium, and she was like, because I was having, I mean, I've been always able to connect with angels since I was adolescent, but it wasn't, like what we call a psychic, communication. It was more like I feel them, I see them, I would make my intentions and, pray to them, and I would receive answers, but not in the way that I do now, like channeling, right?
Mhm.
And so my friend was like, just go in a journal and just write whatever comes to you, I'm like, okay. So I had these interesting experiences, and that's another story, when I had a spirit trying to contact me at my dad's bed and breakfast. And anyway, so I sat there with a journal, sat on the beach meditating, and I was like, okay, what's, just open myself up to make my intentions, to connect with spirit. And then, I think the first time was like random words. The second time was like sort of weird sentences. It was like, oh, this doesn't really make sense. But then I think, and for me, because I already innately had the abilities, it's just I had to fine tune it a bit. I guess it didn't take me too long to get to this process, but like it was only like the fourth or fifth try, I was actually writing paragraphs. I'm like, oh, wow, like this is cool. So that's how I developed my channeling abilities. And I guess, I did a lot of work before that, obviously, but the journaling really helps to clarify your mind and your focus and to really put onto paper spirit. So insights from spirit, but to gain insight for everything, whether it's communication from spirit, processing your emotions, it's like bringing the non-tangible to the tangible. I always talk about that as well. So any messages, even if they're what we think is random thoughts, inspired ideas, write them down. Anything, write them down, journal about them, because if you don't put it out into the physical world, it might just, you either forget them or you won't think it's very significant. So if you put it all on paper, you can start to see patterns, go deeper into the emotions. It's
I
putting
agree
it on
with
paper
you.
is perfect.
When you journal, I have friends who show me their journal, and I'll share what I journal too, but you do see a pattern, or you go back and you reread the message and you're like, oh my gosh, I wrote that, because it's spirit talking through you. So I think journaling, and I'll let Max and Nikki jump in around journaling. But journaling is free, other than paper and a pen, and that's inexpensive. And you can journal on your phone, you can journal handwriting, whatever it is, but it is a great start. So those who are not journaling, please try, because we want you connected to your inner being. We want you to feel the love of the universe. It's amazing, and you can have it. So stop lollygagging and journal. Okay, Nikki and Max.
Lollygagging.
Lollygagging.
I'm sure that's probably a word. Okay. You know what? I've been very resistant to journaling, and that's what, when I connect, I mean, I did a lot of meditating, talking to spirit and my guides and stuff like that. But when I really want like concrete stuff, this is it. And I in the morning after I meditate, I do a little channeling and it's amazing. I ask questions, I get answers, I get pages now. And it's really cool. It's like everything else in the world. At the beginning of almost everything I've ever done, I want to stop right away because I can't do it. Right. It's like, oh, that's too hard. That's too hard. And I only wanted to do the things that were easy. But through time and through practice, I realized I don't know if I can do everything. Like, for example, gardening, I'll never want to do it. But a lot of things come with practice, and with practice comes confidence. So like, it's whether you're journaling your dreams, or you're channeling your guidance from spirit, or you're just allowing whatever's on your chest, instead of having a conversation on the phone. It's an exercise in actually being in partnership with yourself. And I think through that exercise of channeling, at least for myself, I've gained a lot of confidence, and I really can't pick up the phone and ask people for advice if I can't do it for myself. Do you know what I mean? Because then I'm in that 3D world where all of my solutions come from external sources. So it's a great practice for simply learning how to trust in yourself. And it's rough in the beginning because, I mean, it's like I just had so much resistance to just writing. I was just so used to talking on the phone and so used to just doing things in a quick way. So it was an exercise for me to do it. But now, like, I have a friend and she has books and books of journals, and she freaks out when she can't find her journal because she's lost it, right? And spirit will work with you on that. If you need to take a break from journaling, they will hide your journal and you won't be able to find it. But then maybe that's an indication that it's time for more meditation or nothing at all, maybe more play. But it's just another tool that allows you to go deeper. And yeah, we all want to have clarity and insight into the way we function in the world, because here on this panel, and I think for people who are watching, why are we here? Why are we, light workers? Why are we doing this on this spiritual journey? To have more freedom, to feel more joy. And so this is another great way for you to believe in yourself at a deeper level. So.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for sharing how hard it was for you and your resistance. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, I'll give you more resistance then. It's something I absolutely am resisting doing. And there's a very good reason why. Well, a good reason for me. Maybe it's an excuse, but surely an excuse at the end. But as I was, I think, 18, 19, I used to write down on a journal my stuff. And my lovely and very caring stepmother had the great idea of reading it. And since then, I have never, ever done that ever again.
Aw, don't let Max, don't let that
I know.
you.
I know. I said that it's an excuse.
But well, you know what, Max? I think it's important to honor the resistance, because that's an excellent trigger for you to go deeper into what that is all about. Because you know what? Maybe it'll never be for you, and that's perfectly fine. But the day that you're inspired, maybe painting is for you. That's the thing. Everybody doesn't have to do everything. Maybe it's not for you, but I think it's interesting to go deeper into the trigger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's triggering, and it's interesting because I up until that moment, I'd say writing has been something that I was very good at, and that I love doing. And it was like losing it. It was like being betrayed by it.
Yeah.
And so it's but it's certainly something that I have to go deep and see, because right.
Yeah,
it's the
you
work.
don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You want to hide.
Behind that, it becomes an excuse. As I said, it becomes a way not to confront the situation.
Yeah,
Run
no, I
away.
get it. I mean, I tease. I am only teasing Max, but it is. Listen, I know his relationship with his stepmother, and it is deep. It's a betrayal, because it's when you're personal and you're not ready to share or be vulnerable, and you feel naked and exposed, it's very hard to come out again because your experience wasn't good, right?
No, and you said it's a betrayal, and you feel betrayed by everything, and by yourself, because by putting in writing something, you give someone else a door, a way to discover what you don't want to tell them. Now, obviously, we know that there are no secrets, right? It's an illusion to think that we can keep anything secret. Everyone knows everything about everyone. That's the thing. But in our illusion is that we have secrets.
Yes.
So when you think that you are protecting something, or that you have something that you want to keep for yourself because you feel that will expose you to some danger, then when that happens, suddenly you say, well, that was dumb of me. Why did I do that? Why did I expose myself? Right? And so you start saying, oh, if I don't do that, well, I don't expose myself.
Yeah, you know what? I just thought about something. Well, I was thinking like it's actually a belief that was established. I mean, my perception, and I get it, is like it's not safe, and that I need protection. It's this idea of needing protection. Sometimes I hear that like, oh, be careful when you're working with clients. You need to protect yourself from their toxicity or from evil spirits or whatever. So there is definitely teachings that are sets of beliefs around needing protection, but we know we are always safe. We've always been safe. But you know what I just thought about when you were sharing, Max, was a voice memo. And when I was with my sister this summer, I'm serious. People who don't want to write, you can use your phone. You can use the voice recording thing. I was having feelings because my sister, I'd come to see her. I hadn't seen her in like almost 2 years, and I was in Florida with her, and like I was having a reaction to her because she was withdrawn and in her room, and I was like, what the heck? I just got here. What the heck, right? And about the third day, I felt like I was going to cry, and I was like, so I was at the pool, and I took my phone and I did a recording, and I said everything I needed to say about how I felt. And I did that 3 or 4 times. And I mean, your phone is always safe.
Password protected. Face ID, Max.
Yeah, there you
You're
go.
okay.
Don't want to write? Use your phone.
Yeah, absolutely. But here is the thing that I'm getting, and I'm is that this is exactly the opposite. I mean, I felt back then that I needed to protect something. So to protect myself, to have protection, and to have layers of protections and protection and protection. But the thing now is that there is no need of protection, because when we put up protection, it means that there is an attack. But isn't the protection what creates the attack? So it's more in the letting go of that, because there is no need anymore of any of that, right?
It makes me think of an image I saw on Instagram. It's people I follow, spiritual things. And there was this person who had this bicycle, and they had like 10 locks. They put like a chain and everything through the wheel, and it was like barricaded. And there were 2 pictures, that one and then the next one with only the wheel with all those chains, and the whole bike had been stolen. It's exactly that, right? So it's around your beliefs that there are thieves, that people are going to steal from you. We all get that, it's funny.
Yeah. And also it's the intention of why you want to journal.
Oh, she froze. Is it just me seeing her frozen, or you guys see her frozen?
No, she's frozen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
Kimberly. Oh, there's back. You're back.
Oh, woo, I disappeared into the ether. Fabulous.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I was going to say it's your intentions of why you want to journal. Like, you shouldn't have to force it either. It should be guided and inspired to do so. Like for me, when I receive guidance, I just pop it in my notes. I have a list of inspired guidance and I pop it there. So I have a record of it, because if I don't record it, sometimes it's very fleeting and I might forget it. So I always pop it down. So you don't have to also write pages and pages. Like I said, it depends what the purpose is, what your intention is. Don't just do it for the sake of, don't know, just going to do it. Like, make your intention. That's the key as well. Make your intentions with anything that you do, so you can gain the clarity and like the pathway. So the exercise of journaling becomes more clear to you. So whether it is to gain more insight into an issue, whether it is to assist you in your channeling abilities, process your emotions, whatever it is, make your intention to do a a meditation beforehand, or it can just be just a few moments just to breathe and set your intentions to get in that clear space, and then that's it, and then you can journal that way. So it's using it as a tool, but it doesn't have to be like, well, I have to journal and you kind of force it. So just go with the flow and be creative around it. Yeah.
Okay. Why would Spirit want you to meditate? Is it to help you reduce stress, to help you ground with Mother Gaia, to help you channel? Is it to help you gain insight, or all of the above?
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Kimberly.
All of the above.
Yes.
Definitely.
So
meditate.
let me ask this panel here. Do all of you meditate?
Mm,
Max, you don't meditate? Shut the front door.
Not every day.
Oh, well, who cares? But you do meditate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see, that's interesting, because I think it depends. A lot of people say that they meditate, and that's very good. That's absolutely great. Then I wonder, are they really? And I say, oh, it doesn't matter really, but it's interesting, because what is meditation for you?
Thank you, Max. I'm surprised Nikki is not asking this question. You are becoming a good journalist too. So meditation, just so you guys know, doesn't necessarily mean sitting quietly and breathing. Meditating can take many different forms. It could be running. It could be playing your singing bowls, right, Max? When you're playing your singing bowls, you're totally meditating.
Oh, yes.
Right? Nikki does the gong bath. Kimberly, you create a lot of meditations. When you channel, you'll do a guided meditation. And I know you meditate. Do you meditate? And I know you go to the beach a lot, Kimberly. How else do you meditate?
I personally meditate with my practice of light language, sacred sound alchemy. So, and I've intuitively developed this. So basically, this is how I meditate, and it can vary, but usually this is what I do. I do like Reiki symbols to connect to my heart, and then I set my intentions. So it's important when you meditate, set your intentions of what you want out of the meditation. So I set my intentions. I then channel the 𝐸𝐿, and then I channel light language, and that's how I process. So for me, I always explain a light language is kind of like meditation on steroids for me. So I sit there, I connect, and then I tone, I sing. And then on top of that, I get up, and I also sometimes do like body movements. So like physical movements. And that also helps me to tap in and process. So I get a lot of messages that way. So it's a very interesting way of meditating. I don't sit there in silence like this. So yeah, there's so many ways you can meditate. So be creative on it and do a way that resonates for you. For me, it's light language. And yes, I go to the beach as well, walk along with my feet in the water along the shoreline. And then I also do light language, like conscious as I'm walking. I do that also. So I connect with Gaia that way, and get downloads that way. So that's how I receive downloads and gain insight, is that meditation. So yeah, sometimes I do go in silence and I listen to some, other music, and I just in silence, but generally it's not silence for me. I'm toning or moving my body. So yeah.
Yeah. And meditating, like I said, Nikki does a gong bath. There's yoga. there's dancing, there's, you know, you can connect with spirit through the body. There are many different ways to meditating. Me personally, your friend Isabelle Zimmerman does do what typically people think meditating is, quieting my ego mind and breathing through my heart. I personally trained myself when I first started meditating. I found it really, really hard and did want to give up, just like Nikki says, when something is hard and you can't do it the first time. I used a device called Heart Math, and it's biofeedback. So I clipped it to my ear, and I could see my heart rhythm and brain waves. And that's how I started off with guided meditation on YouTube's. That's how I did it.
That is super cool. And yeah, with the heart math thing, that's another key for meditation too. It's what I practice and what I teach as well, is that connect to the heart. And not just, you know, conceptually, but it's about cultivating love within your heart, because your heart is a portal, right? So if you cultivate love, it actually opens your heart energy, it opens your energy field. So it expands your consciousness. So that's something, a really good practice, no matter what you're doing, whether it is, you know, some kind of conscious practice like mindfulness walking or some other thing. If you can, in some part of your practice, really focus on cultivating love, that will enhance your practice, supercharge it, especially for those of you who have, you know, busy schedules and you don't have that much time to meditate. If you can tap into cultivating love, and the probably easiest pathway to do that is cultivating gratitude, because there's always something you can be grateful for, and it taps into the energy of receiving. So when you do that, it just, you know, even if you have like 5-10 minutes, it amplifies it by cultivating the frequency of love, right? So that's another tip as well. So if you can focus on that, that helps a lot.
When I first started meditating, I was in the Joshua thing, because all those years on a spiritual path, that was one of the things I thought, that's not for me, right? Although I love to dance, and when I dance, I feel so connected. Anyway, I started meditating, I think, in 2017. It was a requirement to be in the Joshua one-on-one program. And I was listening to the Joshua tapes, right? And those were guided meditations. But what's really funny when I think about it, I was also doing Kundalini yoga way before Joshua. And in Kundalini yoga, we do breath with and chants and things like that. And you definitely go into a meditative state. But since the Joshua thing, I did want to, it's like so many things. Suddenly I get interested, and then I really want to do it. So I remember, you know, it's like this practice thing. I started with 3 minutes. It was an eternity. And I remember I listened to Eckhart Tolle. I had like his, I had 5 CDs, and I would listen to them in the car, and it was all about meditation. And Eckhart Tolle would say different things, like, for example, a couple of things that stuck with me. One is go out into nature. We know that's grounding. And instead of like going, you know, oh, that's a bird, oh, that's an elm tree, no, it's a maple, that sort of thing. Eckhart Tolle said, like, take the concepts, you know, because that's how we understand. That's how we have understanding and clarity, is because everything's conceptualized. But including ourselves and our identity. So if you actually just go out into nature and you appreciate, and you actually just be instead of do, meaning that you look in the sky and you just feel things and notice, but without engaging that conceptualizing habit, right? That's an art to do that. But back to Eckhart Tolle and the kind of meditation I do today in general, he says, so the whole thing is like, I thought my mind's too active, you know, I can never do this. I've got this, right? And Eckhart Tolle says, you're always going to have thoughts. Thoughts aren't bad, and we're not getting rid of thoughts. Thoughts will always be there. What you're aiming for is a space between the thoughts, and to get that space a little larger. For some people who like this kind of meditation, because I like to close my eyes, and I start focusing on my third eye, and I just get into my breath and really anchored in my body. But it's allowing those thoughts to be there, but being the observer and allowing them to just like kind of float away. And what I notice is, so I started with 3 minutes. I think after about a week, I moved up to 5. After about a month, I moved up to 15. And really, I never do more than 20 minutes. anything else is it's just I'm comfortable with 20, and for me you know, if you think of somebody like Joe Dispenza says you have to meditate like an hour every day. And I know people who go to like silent retreats and they meditate for weekends and all, and they're silent for weekends and all that. But I'll tell you one of the fruits of meditation for me was, first of all, that connection, like the downloads start coming because, you know, you've just opened up a space for reception. You know, in order to paint a painting, you need canvas, right? And if your mind is so active, I'll speak for myself, it was like there wasn't a place for more information to come in. So being able to meditate was really an opening for me to start connecting with, you know, like Mary Magdalene, stuff like that, and Jesus, and all. And it's so cool because all of that was, I think, the avenue or the bridge to that for me was the meditation. That was it. And so the thing about it, when I talk about the fruits, is okay, channeling, connecting, getting answers. That's really, really cool. But in the practical world, there's a fruit as well. And for me, that is a space between what's happening in my reality and my reaction or response to it. And that's something that I noticed after about 6 months of meditating, which was I could very easily move into the observer state, which it was like I wasn't so close to the reality. I just had this space between what was going on around me. And that's really worth it, you know, especially for people who are quick to, you know, jump into fear, or quick to go right into the ego mind when a situation triggers them or whatever. So it really, just on a basic level, for me, it improved the quality of my life in navigating this reality.
Yeah. And lots of wonderful benefits, like you said, Nikki. And I just want to jump into as well this conversation in regards to the benefits of meditation. I mean, it's a cornerstone for everything, and regulating your emotions. I mean, now, you know, because I'm a counselor and I, you know, do a high dimensional therapy, which has the guided meditation language. But even when I was working as a mainstream counselor, I used to facilitate do group work, do group circles for people that are experiencing anxiety and depression. And something that can create resistance to meditating when you have high levels of anxiety is because when you close your eyes, the mind races too much sometimes. And for people who experience high levels of anxiety, it's too intense, and that's why they have a resistance. So if you are one of those people who do experience high levels of anxiety, you can do so not with your eyes open, right? So, you know, you call it Buddha eyes. So you can just have a gazing sense. So you can look at the floor just in front of you. You can actually look at a candle, for instance, like the flame, or you can just do mindfulness like walks. So there are different ways. So even if, no matter what condition you have, there are different forms of meditation that will assist you, right? So especially for people who have anxiety, guided meditation is best because you won't have the mind racing so much. And with practice, you can incorporate less and less guided aspects to it to have like more of a silence. So yeah, if you are experiencing challenges in meditating, just find one that actually resonates for you. So it helps for so many things. Regulating emotions is a big, big thing, because if you don't know how to regulate your emotions, well, of course, you react to everything in your outer reality, and your life is not as aligned to what it truly can be, to joy, to love, right? To oneness. So, you know, you can just sit there and gaze at the ocean, be mindful and process that way. So there's so many different types. So just start, you know, meditating wherever you're at, right? So don't think, oh, I can't do it with my eyes closed, it's too much. It's okay. Just start by gazing in nature or a mindfulness walk, just something, just start from there, and then make the intention to increase that and go deeper. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents on that as well. For mental health, mental well-being, it's quite necessary. Like I said, many types of meditation, but just start doing something, just that reflective insight, and then go from there.
Thank you. Okay.
You
wanted to jump in around meditating?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've sent you a picture of it. I've built a pyramid in my living room. I received the message of doing it more than 1 year ago, I think. And I instantly went and bought the copper for it. And well, it's very heavy, so I order it. And anyway, it stayed there for 1 year. Until 2 weeks ago, I said, well, now I'm ready and I'm going to build my pyramid. And I had absolutely no idea. So I knew, well, it's going to be a form of communication. And now I realize, well, it's more than a form of communication. It's healing and it's meditation. I started meditating. It's interesting because you are triggering me tonight. You really did this on purpose. I have here the journal. I have both the journals. I just can't write in it. So you see, it's not that. And I had the thought, this week I'm gonna do a week of meditation in the pyramid.
Nice.
And nice, and now you're putting this here, and I realized that it's very interesting because these tools, as Kimberly said, everyone has to find out, right, what works, what is your way of doing it, and we are sort of guided, or we have inspiration of doing things. I noticed a long time ago that I'm able to go in a deep state of meditation. I don't need to practice it to be able to go in a deep state of meditation. I just can go in there. And so then I noticed that there are things that I can do using sound, my voice, my ear, or I can use the crystal balls, and now I can use this pyramid.
Have you meditated in the pyramid yet?
Oh yeah, yes, I have.
Does it feel different?
Oh yeah, it feels different.
Kidding.
Yes.
He sent me a picture. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can pull it up and show it on camera. It looks so cool.
Yeah, the energy is different, right? Because when you go into meditating in there, you have a channel of energy that comes to you, right? It's directly, so that it's it's opening you even more in that state.
Wow. All right, here's the picture. Can you guys see it on the camera a little bit?
I can see it. I don't know.
Can I go? It's closer, better?
Yeah. It's it can be seen. I am seeing it.
So it looks. What is it? Copper?
Yeah, absolutely. They said it's the best material you can use for these sort of pyramids, because
copper makes sense because copper is a conduit. The great,
exactly.
Copper wire.
Exactly, and so it's like it can be used like a phone, right? It's like channeling, but actually it becomes a cell phone that you can directly communicate, or I use it for healing. The energy is so good that you can just put yourself in there and just let it do its thing. And now I'm discovering the meditation. And the other day I was in there meditating, and I just realized that I left. And
wow.
And when I opened my eyes, I just didn't know where I was. It was a completely, and that's the kind of thing that does, right? It's a very deep state of meditation. And it's interesting because these tools can be discovered. But I think that 1 year ago, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, it
It
takes
was
practice.
too early, right?
Yeah.
I just waited the right moment to do it. When I did it, it was the moment to do it.
Did you order it on Amazon?
No, I built it.
Oh, you built it yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had to figure out how am I going to have all these pipes just stay there.
Yeah.
How am I going to do it? And then I had very when I bought that, I instantly had the idea. Well, there is this thing that you can use. It's very malleable, right?
Okay.
And I said, well, yeah, but it's not gonna work because it's too much to keep all of this together. And I ordered that 1 year ago, and I used this 2 weeks ago. And when I used it, I said, you gave me instantly the right idea. You told me exactly what I need instantly. I already knew what I needed because it worked.
Oh my gosh, I want to build my own.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. That's cool, man.
So wait a minute, Max. Did you solder the pieces together with a metal solder?
No.
He's got like this white tapey thing on it. There we go.
Can you see?
Eh oui, pata fixa. I love it.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
They just gave me this idea, and I said, "Oh, is it gonna work?" Because I mean, it's not solid, right? It's something that, but absolutely it works, and the pyramid is there 2 weeks now, and it's not moving, right? It's something
cool.
you see.
What is it, like a sticky?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Yeah, you
And
know,
then
It's
you-
like silly putty.
no,
Yeah.
it's like instead of glue or tape, it's
Yeah.
this stuff you put. If you want it, like if you have a picture, you put 4 little pieces of this stuff, you tear it off and you put it, and then you stick it on the wall, and it's instead
Like a
of
3M
using-
books.
you can use it instead of nails and stuff like that.
That is interesting. That's very cool.
I'm sure we have that in America, no?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some versions
certainly,
of
yeah.
not moving off
I-
the brand. That's cool. That's cool. And that is so cool, Max, that you have that. So basically the key is that there's more than one way to meditate, right?
Yes.
And you don't have to, and even though it's good for Max, doesn't mean you need a pyramid too. You don't have to have the perfect conditions. Just start where you are at, because, you know, and science is actually catching up to the benefits of meditation. So there's actually research, and I studied this as part of my counseling degree. There's research that proves for mild to moderate depression, right, meditation is just as effective than antidepressants. So that just shows, because what does meditation do? It helps to regrow the gray matter in the brain. It actually rewires the brain. Science can actually prove this now. So, you know, back, even though the ancients have been doing it forever, meditation at some point, you know, was kind of seen as like this woohoo thing, but now science proves just how effective it is to regrow your brain, basically the gray matter, especially, you know, for trauma. It reverses trauma. So it takes, you know, intentional practice. So you can, you know, it assists you in so many things. It's not just like the spiritual development side of stuff, it's just mental things, and just to, have greater insight about who you are. But we can have a whole episode just on meditation, guys. There's a lot.
I know. All right. So listen, these next questions, let's move it along, kids, because I want to get to the part that you don't know.
Get the bell out. Get the bell out.
Okay. Bell. All right. What does surrendering mean? You hold a little white flag and wave it? You give up all your worldly possessions and become a hermit? You drop resistance to what is? Anyone?
Number 3, you drop resistance to what is.
Yay!
I like number 2.
You give up all your worldly possessions and become a hermit.
I mean, you must have a reward if you do that, right? No?
You just have another experience.
Yeah. We could probably talk about surrendering to dropping resistance and what's it. But let's go back to it in case another subject is more enticing. Okay, what is going on? What does the age of Aquarius mean? Is it a song? Or is it time for higher consciousness for humanity and true potential in the multiverse? Or is it you only age during the Aquarius?
If you are from the sign.
This is a time thing. I'm going to be quick. You guys are going to have to really move it now. It is it is a time for higher consciousness for humanity and true potential in the multi-universe. And it is also a song which Kimberly's going to sing for us right now.
The age of Aquarius. That's it.
I just want to let you know, you only age during the Aquarius. That came from Spirit, because I said, Spirit, this is not fun. This is not funny. They gave that one to me, just so you know. All right.
Well, and to sum up, point 2, this whole shift we're going through, it's to recognize the oneness within the God within, that we are God. So, yep, we're doing it now. So, yep.
Yes, totally. Which is, Kimberly, you're totally spot on. What is the ascension? Does it mean climbing stairs? Does it mean you die and then go to heaven? Does it mean you're high on life? Or is it raising consciousness from separation, control, and fear to acceptance, oneness, and love?
I take
what is option 5?
I know.
So
And what is option 5? Like, huh? Here, delete. There we go. There. Option 5 is, I don't know. Listen, I'm new to this Google form thing. All right, I think everyone knows the answer to this one. But climbing stairs was my favorite.
Me too.
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. All right, last category. What WTF is going on? Okay.
Option 5.
It's whatever you want it to be, option 5.
Yeah. What is this image of? Okay. Is this image the Zetas, the Reptilians, or an Arcturian?
Arcturian.
Yes. And, you know, a lot of times they show the Arcturians females. I think there is a lot of females, but I was delighted to see a male Arcturian. Okay. What is this image of? Here we go. A Zeta child.
No.
A hybrid child of human and Zeta, a Sasani, or a Pleiadian child.
Number 2.
This is a hybrid child.
Yeah, it's a hybrid child. Yeah.
The Zeta can't reproduce. That's why.
What was that, Max? They can't produce. Oh, the Zetas can't produce.
No, they can't reproduce themselves. That's why we have all these hybrid.
Yeah, because they lost their spark. I know.
Yes, they are us. Let's say a version of us that evolved a lot, but they use a lot of genetic, and too much.
Yeah.
Until they arrive at the moment where they couldn't reproduce anymore. They were using the cloning, creating these kind of things, and then too much of it.
They went high technology and very linear thinking to the point of extinction.
Yeah, that's why they came here, in order to use genetic material that is working, because theirs was not working anymore.
Yeah. But we can learn from our brothers and sisters. Okay. What is this an image of? Is it Godzilla? A dinosaur? or a reptilian alien?
Reptilian alien.
Yes.
I
But I'm
won.
glad
That's
Kimberly
right.
laughed at the Godzilla. And that was the last question of the Ascension Roundtable quiz game.
Bravo. That was
Yeah.
great.
Can I just point out as well that these are like these images that you put here, that's a kind of a general consensus, but they don't have to always look like that because they come in ways that
Absolutely.
match your belief systems, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if you're afraid of seeing like the physical, like this kind of representation, they're going to come in another way. So it's just, yes, it kind of has a general sense about what they are, what they can be to some people, but it doesn't mean it's exactly that truth as well. So just be a bit relaxed about that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And this girl, Vashta, VASHTA.com.
Yeah.
She does commissions and she channels and she paints. She, she connects to your spirit guides or whatever. And it's really good if you guys wanted to check out her work.
I wanted to add to what Kimberly was saying is that what we have here, it's always our perspective, right? When we see an alien, right, whatever, it's the way humans see them. It's not the way they see themselves because they don't see themselves. Even us, we don't see ourselves really, but we cannot interpret them in any other way than human, right? We are humans. So that is how we can see them. It's our perspective. It's always that we have. Doesn't mean it's not right. It means that is what humans see.
Yeah.
And I love that, Max, because that's also true, like in the macrocosmic. It's like everything that I see one thing or I perceive a situation in one way, but the person right next to me, we were looking up in the sky, I saw an alien spaceship, but my husband saw a plane. Okay. And that's the thing. It's like people always want to, this is about the control, it's like people want proof, or they want to know, but the knowing can't come from out here and it can't come from somebody else. The knowing comes from within. And I love that. So it's exactly what Kimberly said. Our beliefs and our fears will influence whatever, but find the image that you like or don't. I think for me that it's funny. I remember Isabelle told me a story. Didn't an alien appear to you in your bedroom and you freaked out?
Yeah, partially formed. Yep.
Right. And so that's the thing. Like we here we are on the spiritual journey, and I've got a friend who's like, I really want contact. I really want contact with the alien race. So probably because she desires it, eventually she will. But the thing about it is does she want it because she just longs for her people because she's, she was in a former life, she lived on a planet, I don't know. Or does she want it because she wants proof, So it's all based on your beliefs. Our beliefs influence every single thing.
Yeah. And also as well, because I channel ETs as well. And in my channeling process, when I guess, because we're all them, right? They're all within us. It's just the way I do my channeling. They show me like an image of them, but that image is what they want me to see, right? It's just how my perception of it to acknowledge. It's like a way of validating. Oh, it's these particular beings that I'm channeling. It's like another form of, it's just a form of validation, right? They don't have to show us anything. And it's interesting because as you move more to oneness remembrance, you start letting go of those attachments to being able to see these beings. I mean, just quickly, in my journey, when I started the channeling, I used to see like the angels and beings like standing in front of me, right? See them like externally. And the more I integrated oneness, that disappeared. There was like no need to see them outside of me because they're already within me. So that also shifts things too. So it just shows you that they are actually just versions of us. just different frequencies of us. So yeah, just be loosey-goosey with your, I know you like to use this term, Isabelle, loosey-goosey with your with your beliefs and your perceptions about what they should look like, and just go with the feeling. So instead of really focusing on the image too, you can focus on the resonance and the feeling that comes through. Yeah. Because that's where the messages come. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, we're at an hour and a half. So thank you everyone for being here and joining us on this Ascension Roundtable. And who is hosting next time? Nikki, Max, Kimberly?
Shouldn't it be Nikki?
I think it's me. Yeah.
Hey, what's the date? What's the date in a
19th of December, I think.
Yeah, I won't be here. So.
Oh, yeah, I can't do it either. Maddie's coming that day.
So shall we not have one that week?
Should we leave it till after Christmas? Because I think people are going to be away on breaks and things like that. Maybe we should. I don't know. We'll discuss this maybe a bit in depth.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right. So you may see us in 2 weeks or you may not, but you will see us again.
Thank you, Isabelle, for hosting a lovely, fun Ascension Roundtable.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. And we knew the answers.
It was way too easy for me. The only real challenge was the alien stuff. I was happy I got all those right.
I know. It was too easy for you guys. You guys know everything. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to stop the live. So until next time.